Hey, this is Jim at Broadfield. Thanks for joining us for Broadfield Live. Another live show starting off the calendar year 2026. We have a great slate available for you, and I'm super excited today to launch a brand new product line available here at Broadfield. You may have seen some of the emails coming in, but Broadfield is your source for QuickLink Studio Edge and Studio Pro. And we invited the QuickLink team to join us today to introduce the product line and to talk about all the different opportunities for your next live event and production sales. Of course, like all the products available here at Broadfield, additional sales trainings, demos, all that great stuff is always available. Reach out to our team at 800-634-5178. We would be happy to loop you in with the folks over at QuickLink to get you all the great information, training, certifications, everything you need to get up and going with these systems. I would like to invite now Andrew Takis from QuickLink joining us here on the show. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
How's it going, Jim? How are you?
Very good, thank you. We are super excited to be our dealer source for QuickLink products. I know we're going to talk a little bit about Studio Edge and Studio Pro today. Andrew, what I'd like to do is let our dealers know a little bit of the schedule that we're going to go, because we may go a little bit long on today's show. And the only reason I would ever do that to our dealers is because we have some exciting live demos to share with you. So first, Andrew and I are going to introduce you to the QuickLink product line and the QuickLink company. And then we are going to invite Donnie to join us to introduce Studio Edge and Austin to introduce and demo Studio Pro. So definitely hang with us today. We have a great show available for you with some interactive demos of some of the top features we see to help you sell the QuickLink product line. So Andrew, let's start by introducing yourself for our dealers who may not know you already, and of course, introducing QuickLink.
I feel like I'm a pretty popular guy. A lot of people might know me already.
At least in your own mind, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so my name's Andrew Talkage. I live out here in sunny Seattle. I've been with QuickLink for about a year and a half. Before that, you probably recognize me from my years and years at NewTek and VizRT. And even before that, I ran a system integration branch for Keycode for 10 plus years. So lots of experience both on post-production and live production, 20 plus years. And I'm starting to feel pretty old now.
Absolutely, and I know with your history, QuickLink also has a great history in the production world. So tell us a little bit about that, because the products we're going to talk about are going to be new for a lot of our dealers, but it does come from a steep history in the production business, right?
Yeah, I mean, QuickLink has been around for 22 years,
Wow.
and their start came out when they started building encoders for the BBC. Remote production, sort of, and encoding products were in their blood from the very beginning. They quickly moved on to more remote production tools. Some of those things that we still have today that we aren't going to address or talk about, but definitely inquire about those as we get more in depth and talk about on our entire product line. But eventually, when Microsoft and Skype came out for broadcast, they asked 3 manufacturers to build products for them. NewTek did one for the talk show. QuickLink did a Skype for broadcast solution, and then I believe Riedel was the third one, but I don't think that ever came to market. Long history of that. Eventually, they moved into live production, and as you can see, we've got a live production switcher, and then now we have a new version of what we had for Skype for broadcast with Studio Edge. From a client standpoint, they're definitely used to dealing with higher end clientele in terms of broadcasters. So we're talking, you're like ABC News and CNN. Those are the companies that trust QuickLink, not only for their the hardware and software that provide, but a lot on the support side of things. Support is at sort of another level here in my experience. So that's sort of the background of kind of where QuickLink started, and kind of where we're headed now.
And that's what we're excited to share with our dealers now too. Between the Studio Edge and Studio Pro product lines, we think there are some great opportunities within the dealer channels to give you that remote contribution, remote production workflows that so many of our dealers are getting involved with today. And these are some great products and great solutions that we're going to go into a little bit more in depth. So, Andrew, let's start by introducing the Studio Edge.
So Studio Edge is our platform for remote caller integration into production. So what that involves is anytime you're doing a Zoom or Teams call or bringing in a remote caller, we have an appliance that is both hardware and software that brings into your production, whether you're using a Grass Valley switcher, a TriCaster, one of our switchers, it doesn't really matter. It's just an SDI in and out, as well as NDI. We also are NDI enabled on all of our products. So remote production guests into live production.
Perfect. And that's important in order to get all of the horsepower and the engines you need to make sure that your remote callers are coming into your show, that that call is being prioritized within the production workflow, and that is going to work seamlessly from beginning to end. And in that Studio Edge, there are a few different versions of that hardware appliance to fit into some of the different workflow solutions available. Give us a quick overview of some of the different models out there.
Yeah, so the beginning of 2025, we started with our first product, the Studio Edge 4, and that's primarily our most popular product because you've got 4 channels to bring in callers of Zoom, Teams, or our own studio call license. But we do have a single channel, the Studio Edge 1, a dual channel, dual channel, the Studio Edge 2, the Studio Edge 4, which is 4 channels, and we also have a 2110 version that we are implementing. We've got at least 3 or 4 sites already in the US on this 2110 version. So, I think we've got a pretty rounded, scale of SDI, NDI, and 2110 versions of this product.
Absolutely. And you talked a lot about the AV over IP with NDI included in all of the different versions of the products and the Studio Pro switch that we'll talk about a little bit later. But also having that model available for the ST2110 workflows is really going to play in nicely in some of these broadcast AV over IP environments, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's 2110 is a beast,
Yeah.
and to say it lightly.
Yeah.
Uh, but we have early adopters. We have people who've been doing 2110 facilities for over a year or so, and so there are some experienced places that this can easily drop into.
Awesome. And I know we're going to have Donnie join us a little bit later to go over a demo of Studio Edge and highlighting some of the top features. I wanted to run through some of these now with you to just introduce the product line and some of the features that Studio Edge has available.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest is multi-platform. So on a 4 channel unit, each individual channel can be a Teams call, it could be a Zoom call. You can mix and match with our studio call as well. So every channel becomes its own independent capture device for a virtual caller. And what we do is we use the record settings, like say on Zoom. So you're getting 1080p quality of that call, the best you can get out of a Zoom call into the production without having to deal with, maybe building out like a small farm of Zoom PCs or Mac Minis, and having to deal with scan converters and all that. So you're getting an appliance that brings in that full resolution without having to compromise of any other gear. Also, in that discrete audio of all the callers. And then we pack all that with AI features that are just built into the system because we're using an NVIDIA graphics card.
Okay.
So AI enhancements, as part of the package as well.
And the AI is not just the buzzword to say that we're incorporating AI. It is hardware enabled with the NVIDIA enhancements to really give you the best from your remote callers within that production, right?
Correct. Yeah. There's some pretty cool, effects that you could bring in. I think the virtual background is my favorite. But we give you, 4 or 5 different, tools to utilize. A lot of these are used in lieu of using your switcher to produce that effect or enhancement. So it's cutting out things like using another mix effects to create a background from your switcher. We're just taking out, like, if on this call right now, I could just take out that background immediately and put in a QuickLink logo or a moving video. So a lot of these things are just built into the card, and they just make it easier for your workflows.
And I think that's one of the big advantages of Studio Edge within the workflow is everything that's being done in that appliance itself is allowing you to prioritize your guest and the remote caller within that production workflow, taking advantage of some of these great workflow tools that it offers. And here we're looking again at the Studio Edge family, everywhere from the single channel, dual channel to 4 channel model, and the Studio Edge 2110. You will see these solutions starting at $79.95. Great, perfect fit for all of your production workflows. You can reach out to your Broadfield sales team. We can help you design and spec this into any of our systems. Our Broadfield sales engineers, Glenn, Logan, Dan Hershon, have all worked with Andrew and the team over at QuickLink to make sure that they are familiar with the products, certified in the product line, and know how they fit into the different production workflows. And of course, we have a direct line of communication with Andrew and his team to make sure we get you all the information you need. So again, 4 different models available right now on Studio Edge, and you can reach out to our team today to help design those into your next project. With that, let's introduce the next product from the QuickLink family, and that is the Studio Pro Switcher.
Yeah, Studio Pro is sort of, what I call the evolution of live production. We're at that point where, I think a lot of dealers are seeing AV becoming mixed with broadcast, and that introduces a whole set of issues for production. Just the fact that, when you have somebody that's more of corporate, they don't have that mentality of, mix effects bus, right? And so we've developed a product that is, I think, one of the easiest solutions to use, but at most powerful at the same time. So Studio Pro is our live production switcher that has, we'll go over the demo, but I mean, there's so much in it, but you'll see how easy it is to use a scene to create a production, build that up, bring in callers through remote production because we've got Studio Edge built into it.
Yep.
So the facets of it, I think, are really, really something you need to see live to see the power of it.
And that's why I'm excited to have Austin join us in a little bit to do a demo on Studio Pro. It will be great to go through some of those features. Let's roll a quick little sizzle reel to show off what Studio Pro is really capable of. Andrew, thanks for sharing that video with us. One of the things I like about the video is when we talk about the hardware appliances like Studio Edge or Studio Pro, in addition to the production environment and the software that you guys develop, developing the piece of hardware that really can fit into the production world and allow the user who's going to use that to know that they have the reliability of that hardware design is really an important feature of all the QuickLink products, right?
Yeah, rugged, reliable chassis is what we call it. And the CEO, Richard Reese, he's a hardware engineer, so he's going to build and develop these products. I'd say overreaching what they can do in terms of supporting the software. So they build these to be bulletproof. You saw the custom stabilization and production of the components. The dual power supplies, which I think is always important when you're talking about sticking this in a rack in a broadcast facility or corporate or wherever this goes.
Yep.
Um, and then there's just, we are Windows 10 OS based, but we're not tied to it in terms of, we're moving to Windows 11. Um, Things you can do is you can upgrade the OS when we have that version out. So you're not sort of stuck in the Windows 10 on a hardware platform. You can upgrade that unit. So a lot of flexibility in our hardware and our software options for OS.
Perfect. And then while we talk about that, we can talk about some of the different models through the Studio Pro family. Can you walk us through the product line here?
Yeah, again, all of our products are hybrid. So we support NDI and SDI on all of our products. We're actually NDI certified. So we've gone through the testing and got that checklist complete. So we've got an NDI version. So we're talking about an NDI solution that gives you at least 24 IO of NDI sources coming in. Super powerful, very good price point. Then we jump to the Studio Pro 3, which has 12 SDI IO on the back of it. What we do with that is it's independent IO, so you can have a in or an out on each individual SDI port. So if you have an 11 camera production one day, you could do 11 camera inputs in and one output, or you can change that to 6 and 6. So a lot of flexibility on the I/O in terms of the Studio Pro 3, and again NDI supported as well as that platform. Then we jump up to the Studio Pro 8 and the Studio Pro 16. Those are 12G I/O. So Studio Pro 8 has 8 independent I/O, and Studio Pro 16 has 16 independent I/O. So those are two 12G platforms. Again, the hardware outperforms the software on all these products. So thinking about building massive amount of scenes and layers, it's really not an issue within our systems. And then
Great.
again, lastly, 2110 is supported. We have a box that does a 2110 as well.
Awesome. And I know we started off the show talking about Studio Edge, and it is important to note that Studio Edge is incorporated into all of the Studio Pro products, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
Um, yeah.
And some of the top features of Studio Pro?
Yeah, so I think one of my favorite ones is the low latency of them. So if you have any questions about putting this in an IMAX situation, whether you're at a church or a corporate facility, we are only one frame delay out of the box in SDI. Um, we are scene based, so I think it's intuitive. It's very easy to use. You can build layers and layers, and you can turn those off by just basically touching the eyedropper like you are in Photoshop. So a lot of familiarity with Photoshop or PowerPoint built into these systems. We include New Blue Captivate in every switcher. This is a $5,000 graphics program. It's just part of the package. I think it's a very simple, easy to use platform, but it goes deep. There are lots of lots of high-end graphics systems out there, but I think New Blue gives you the power of creating like Google Sheets and all that, as well as giving you the solid templates to work with. So very powerful graphics just built into the system that just comes with it. And again, all the platforms of Studio Edge, and beyond. We support like FaceTime and WhatsApp. Those can also drop into the system as well.
That's great. And we're going to invite Austin on to demo some of this intuitive GUI in just a moment. But really, having all of that production capability built into the appliance with the graphics software with New Blue Captivate, the remote crawler with Studio Edge, you really have a complete solution for the next video production. I know you already mentioned House of Worship, but corporate AV, education, live events and venues, sports production, all can be done very easily and adeptly within the Studio Pro, right?
Yeah, and I feel like, as we develop this product, and really, it's been over the last, year that we've really kind of honed in on the software side of it. We have hit, I think, every vertical possible on this product line. So we have, whether it's a case study or a reference account, we just did a big sports deal. So any, I'm imagining we've hit every vertical possible on this product line so far.
Awesome. And we could continue to talk about just how easy it is, the platform to use. Stay tuned with us. We are going to have Austin join us to do a little bit of a demo of Studio Pro and really show you how the system goes beyond the ME capabilities that you might be used to in other production switches, right?
Correct. Yeah. He'll show you how scenes work and just how easy it is to bring in a caller to the platform, whether it's Zoom or Teams or whatever it is.
Cool.
And just the basics of like, having somebody jump onto a system without a lot of experience, how easy it is to use.
That's awesome. And I know you spoke a little bit about the New Blue Captivate software. Again, this is the full package of New Blue Captivate that's included in the Studio Pro, right?
Correct. So it's the full version of Captivate. Again, this is RCG. So people will be able to utilize this. And what we do is we give you a license, and you can use that on the system, or you could use it as a standalone, laptop feeding NDI graphics into the system.
Very cool. And Studio Edge, that gives you your remote crawler capability. We talked about the Studio Edge features already. We're going to be able to demo some of that within the Studio Pro systems. But again, you're getting a full remote production solution with Studio Pro, including Studio Pro Lab. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is something that I had been wanting to do for years at a former company, but so what we do for education, so we do two different things. So we do provide discounts for education. So we have educational pricing. It's basically a discount depending on what product it is. But when you are an educational facility, we give you copies of the software to use for students. So what that does is, you've got the hardware sitting there. That's a production tool. All the students can go and work on a desktop or a laptop of the Studio Pro software. And we give that to how many students are in the class. It doesn't really matter to us. We just did a pretty large installation of about 20. So all the students are learning and building out scenes, and then they're taking those scenes and then taking it to the hardware to do the production. So it allows students to learn the system and environment so much quicker, and they become advanced on the product line pretty quickly. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm glad we were able to kind of provide this support for the software and hardware.
No, that's awesome. That's one of the biggest challenges in the education market is not only getting the system installed to be used in the classroom, in the department, in the school, across campuses, but to also make those tools available for the students to kind of
Hmm.
polish their skills and build the next generation. Obviously, any of our dealers tuning in today, if you want to learn more about that education program, you can reach out to your Broadfield sales rep at 800-634-5178. We will be happy to share the QuickLink price sheets with you, talk to you a little bit more about the educational program, and of course, connect you to Andrew and the QuickLink team to make sure we get you all the information you need to close those sales. A quick glance again at the Studio Pro product line. 5 models here, as Andrew introduced: the Studio Pro NDI, the Studio Pro 3, 8, 16, and of course the ST2110 version. These are available starting at just $11,995. A great value, especially when you start talking about the $5,000 new Blue Captivate tool that's included with it, the Studio Edge tools that are included with it, the full production capabilities, and that hardware appliance and the robust, reliable design that we talked about. Across this, we can share this comparison chart with you, and we can help you identify the right Studio Pro model to share with any of your prospective customers. Andrew, there are some control options available as well, right?
Yeah, so obviously we do multi-view out of the system. That's just standard, but we do have an IP panel, so you can work off any type of network connected device, whether it's an iPad, a Surface, or a laptop, and you could utilize those as a sort of an IP panel to do the switching remotely for you.
Awesome. And then you have some hardware controllers as well.
Yeah, these are pretty unique because these panels aren't Ethernet based,
Okay.
but they utilize BitFocus Companion. So you can actually customize buttons and I guess macrotize these using BitFocus Companion. It gives you a lot more flexibility to run a production exactly how you want to do it from a control surface level. Plus the fact that BitFocus also controls other devices, so you can control your live graphics, you can control other systems outside of our ecosystem using BitFocus. So very, very powerful for the price points of these switchers.
And I think that's really going to be a selling feature that our integrators sink their teeth into. It will allow them to take the Studio Pro and integrate it into an installation with one of these control panels to really automate a lot of the production systems and to make it very easy to use. I'm thinking in the example of like a house of worship environment where you're relying on volunteer resources to have
Mhm.
that control panel set up to give the volunteer everything they need at their fingertips is going to be a great selling tool with the QuickLink products.
Yeah, we've even had Donnie set up some instances for clients like that just to get them going. So there's a lot of customization, but there's a lot of like workflow stuff that we do ahead of time to get people going quickly.
That's awesome. I mean, if Donnie could do it, anyone could do it, right? So here with the controllers, we're looking at the Studio Pro Proton at $29.95 or the Studio Pro Fusion at $69.95. And that Fusion is just going to give you that larger control surface to work with, more of that customization, more of that flexibility. And that has the built-in PTZ controller as well, right?
Correct.
Awesome. Very cool. So as you can see, from Studio Edge to Studio Pro to the control panel options, QuickLink really does have a perfect fit product in your live production, remote production workflows with a priority based on AV over IP, ST2110, NDI, you name the workflow, these products fit in very nicely to it. If you have any questions about the QuickLink products that we talked about today, you can, of course, reach out to your Broadfield sales team, or we can connect you with QuickLink directly. Andrew, Donnie, Austin are all available to us and our dealers to help answer any of your questions, to dive in on demos, or to even give you training on the products that we talked about. We are going to be inviting Donnie on in just a moment to talk about Studio Edge, and then we will be joined by Austin to give a demo on Studio Pro. So thank you for tuning in for the introduction to QuickLink. Stay tuned for just a moment, and we will be firing up our Studio Edge demo, showing off some of those great features in just a moment.